First contact gone wrong. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the helm of the UES Thunderhawk, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the uncharted regions of the Carina Nebula. After 15 years of deep space exploration, she thought she'd seen everything the universe could throw at her. She was wrong. Captain, we're picking up anomalous energy readings at bearing 247 Mark 38, Lieutenant Ray Martinez announced from his sensor station. The signature doesn't match anything in our database. Chen's fingers drummed against the armrest of her command chair. The Thunderhawk was humanity's most advanced deep space vessel, incorporating breakthrough technologies in quantum computing and neural interface systems. But even with all their advances, humans were still considered newcomers to the galactic stage. Analysis, she asked, turning to her science officer, Dr. Amara Patel. Dr. Patel's augmented eyes flickered with streams of data as she processed the readings. The energy pattern appears crystalline in nature, but it's evolving. These formations shouldn't be possible according to known physics. Before Chen could respond, the space before them fractured. There was no other word for it. Reality itself seemed to splinter as massive crystalline structures emerged from what appeared to be tears in space-time. They were beautiful and terrifying. Geometric patterns that shifted and flowed like liquid geometry, each one larger than the Thunderhawk. Multiple contacts. Martinez shouted. They're powering up something. Energy readings off the scale. Chen didn't hesitate. Battle stations. Tactical. Bring up quantum shields. Engineering. Prepare for emergency maneuvers. The crew responded with practiced efficiency, but they all knew their ship had never been tested against anything like this. The crystalline entities, dubbed void harmonics by Dr. Patel, moved with impossible grace, surrounding the Thunderhawk in a complex three-dimensional pattern. They're trying to establish a resonance pattern with our shield harmonics. Chief Engineer James O'Connor reported from engineering, his Irish accent thickened by stress. These bastards are actually attempting to sync with our defensive frequencies. The first attack came without warning. A beam of pure crystalline energy lanced out from one of the entities, striking the Thunderhawk's shields. The impact sent cascading harmonics through the ship's entire structure. Shields at 60% and dropping. Lieutenant Commander Maya Wong reported from Tactical. Their attacks are becoming more efficient with each hit. They're learning. Chen's mind raced through options. The void harmonics were clearly superior in terms of raw technology, but humanity hadn't survived this long by playing fair. O'Connor, what happens if we deliberately destabilize our shield harmonics? Captain, that would expose us to their attacks. O'Connor protested. Yes, but it would also disrupt their attempt to synchronize with our systems. Chen pressed. What if we created a feedback loop? Feed their own energy patterns back at them through our quantum field generators. There was a pause as O'Connor considered the implications. It's never been done before. Could tear the ship apart, or it could work brilliantly. Classic human insanity, Captain. Make it happen, Chen ordered. Dr. Patel, I need you to. Another blast rocked the ship, sending sparks flying from several consoles. Shields at 40%, Wong reported. We can't take much more of this. Engineering reports ready for shield modulation, Martinez announced. Chen took a deep breath. This was why humanity had survived every challenge thrown at them. The ability to think laterally, to try the impossible when the possible wasn't enough. Execute on my mark. Tactical, prepare to channel all weapon power through the modified shield grid. We're going to show these crystalline entities why humans are the most dangerous species they've ever encountered. The void harmonics were closing in for the kill, their geometric patterns becoming more complex, more deadly. They had no way of knowing that they were about to experience something unique in the galaxy. Human ingenuity under pressure. Mark. The Thunderhawk's shields collapsed, but in their place arose something new. A chaotic quantum field that took the void harmonics' own energy patterns and twisted them into weaponized feedback loops. The crystalline entities recoiled as their own power was turned against them, their perfect geometric patterns distorting under the assault. But victory was short-lived. As the aliens retreated, the Thunderhawk's sensors detected massive energy signatures emerging throughout the sector. This wasn't just a chance encounter. It was the vanguard of an invasion force, and Earth lay directly in their path. The human solution. Admiral Marcus Jung stared at the holographic projection of the Void Harmonics invasion fleet, his weathered face illuminated by the ghostly light of thousands of enemy signatures. The emergency summit at Luna Command had drawn the best minds humanity had to offer, but the atmosphere was grim. They had 48 hours before the main force reached Earth. The Thunderhawk's encounter proved one thing, Captain Chen said, standing beside the projection. Conventional warfare isn't an option. These beams don't just use technology. They are their technology. Dr. Paddle stepped forward, her augmented eyes cycling through data streams. The crystalline entities appear to operate on perfect mathematical harmonies. Their very existence defies our understanding of physics. But, she smiled, that's exactly their weakness. The assembled officers leaned forward as Paddle brought up new simulations. Humans are inherently chaotic. Our neural patterns, our decision-making processes, our very creativity. It all stems from controlled chaos. The Void Harmonics couldn't adapt to the Thunderhawk's improvised defense because it was, by their standards, pure nonsense. So we weaponize chaos? Zhang asked, raising an eyebrow. Better. Chief Engineer O'Connor stepped up, his hands moving through the holographic display. We've been developing Project Nexus, a fusion of human neural networks and quantum computing. Instead of trying to match their perfect harmonies, we introduce controlled discord. The next hour was filled with rapid-fire proposals and counter-proposals. While other species might have spent months debating the perfect solution, humans did what they'd always done. They improvised, adapted, and moved forward. The fleet will need to be retrofitted, Admiral Zhang said, studying the preliminary designs. Every ship equipped with neural interfaces and quantum field generators calibrated to human brainwave patterns. It's never been attempted at this scale, O'Connor warned. We're talking about linking thousands of human minds through quantum networks while simultaneously using their neural chaos to generate weapon frequencies. Then we better work fast, Chen replied. Because the alternative is extinction. The next 40 hours were a testament to human determination. Shipyards across the solar system worked at impossible speeds, installing experimental technology that barely existed yesterday. Volunteer crews underwent rapid neural interface training, learning to project their thoughts through quantum fields. In the Thunderhawk's engineering bay, O'Connor and his team worked without rest, pushing the boundaries of what was possible. The beauty of it, he explained to Chen during a rare break, is that we're not trying to be better than them. We're trying to be more human than they can comprehend. The neural interface testing was brutal. Crew members experienced everything from hallucinations to temporal displacement as their minds merged with quantum fields. But they adapted, as humans always did. The key is embracing the chaos, Dr. Paddle explained to the fleet commanders. Don't try to think in straight lines. Let your minds wander, let them race down impossible paths. The quantum fields will translate your chaos into weapons the Void Harmonics can't predict. 24 hours before the invasion force arrived, humanity had transformed its fleet. Every ship now hummed with the combined neural energy of its crew, quantum fields flickering with patterns that defied mathematical analysis. Admiral Zhang stood on the bridge of his flagship, the UES Defiant, watching the final preparations. Status report. Neural networks at 89% synchronization, his operations officer reported. Quantum field generators operating within human chaos parameters. The fleet is as ready as it's going to be. Zhang nodded, then opened a channel to all ships. This is Admiral Zhang. In a few hours, we face an enemy that believes in perfect order, in mathematical certainty. They think they can predict every move, calculate every outcome. But they've never faced humans before. He paused, looking at the determined faces of his bridge crew. We are chaos given form. We are the species that looked at the impossible and said, why not? We are humanity, and we're about to show the universe why that means something. The void harmonics were approaching with perfect geometric precision, their crystalline ships arranged in patterns of sublime mathematical beauty. They had no way of knowing that they were about to encounter something their perfect harmonies couldn't compute, the beautiful chaos of human ingenuity. As the enemy fleet appeared on long-range sensors, Captain Chen stood on the Thunderhawk's bridge, her mind linked with her crew through the neural network. She could feel the quantum fields responding to their collective consciousness, creating patterns that even they couldn't predict. The battle for Earth was about to begin, and humanity's greatest weapon would be its own beautiful imperfection. The battle for Sol. The void between Mars and Earth erupted in crystalline fire as the void harmonics made their first push into the solar system. Their ships moved in perfect geometric formations, each maneuver calculated to mathematical precision. But humanity's defense was anything but predictable. Neural sync holding at 94%, Lieutenant Martinez announced aboard the Thunderhawk. Through the quantum network, Captain Chen could feel the thoughts of her crew merging with the ship's systems, creating patterns of controlled chaos that ripple through space. All ships, execute Pattern Omega. Admiral Zhang's voice echoed through the fleet network. But Pattern Omega wasn't really a pattern at all. It was organized chaos, each ship responding to the collective unconscious of its crew. The human fleet broke formation in ways that defied tactical logic. Ships moved in seemingly random directions, their quantum fields generating interference patterns that distorted the very fabric of space-time. The void harmonics' first attack wave passed through empty space where their calculations said the human ships should have been. They're trying to adapt, Dr. Petal reported, her augmented eyes tracking the enemy's responses. Their crystalline structures are reconfiguring, attempting to find patterns in our movements. Chen smiled grimly. They won't find any. Execute Chaos Protocol Alpha. The Thunderhawk's quantum field generators pulsed with the combined neural energy of its crew. Each officer's thoughts contributed to the weapon systems in unpredictable ways. Engineering's calculations merged with tactical's targeting solutions, creating weapon frequencies that shouldn't have been possible. The first human counterattack caught the void harmonics completely off guard. Quantum-enhanced weapons fire rippled through their perfect formations, each shot guided by human intuition rather than computer targeting. Crystalline ships shattered as their mathematical defenses encountered weapons that operated outside the bounds of conventional physics. They're splitting into smaller groups, Wang reported, trying to surround us. Let them, Chen responded. All ships, initiate Dream Protocol. The neural networks linking the human fleet shifted into a new configuration. Now the crew's subconscious minds were feeding into the quantum fields, introducing elements of human dreams and nightmares into the battle space. Reality itself seemed to warp around the human ships as impossible geometries, spawned from human imagination, manifested in weapons fire. The void harmonics reeled from this new assault. Their perfect crystalline forms struggled to maintain coherence in the face of weapons guided by human dreams, but they were far from defeated. Multiple quantum ruptures detected, Martinez shouted. They're calling in reinforcements. Space fractured as more crystalline ships emerged from quantum space. The enemy fleet now outnumbered the humans 10-1, their formations becoming more complex, more deadly. Admiral, Chen called through the fleet network, we need to implement the Nightmare Protocol. There was a pause. The Nightmare Protocol was theoretical, an attempt to weaponize humanity's darkest fears through the quantum network. No one knew exactly what would happen. Do it, Zhang ordered. All ships, prepare for Nightmare Protocol. Medical teams on standby. The neural interfaces deepened, tapping into primal human fears. The quantum fields around the human ships darkened, taking on aspects of humanity's collective nightmares. Weapons fire became infused with the terror of the unknown, The fear of the dark, the horror of the void. The effect on the void harmonics was immediate and devastating. Their perfect crystalline forms began to crack under the assault of weaponized human fear. Ships that had existed in mathematical harmony for millennia found themselves facing chaos incarnate. But the cost was high. Crew members across the fleet struggled with the psychological strain of channeling their deepest fears into weapons. Medical teams worked frantically to stabilize those overwhelmed by the neural feedback. Enemy fleet retreating from central position, Wang reported, her voice strained from the neural link. They're trying to regroup. Chen watched through bloodshot eyes as the void harmonics pulled back, their formation showing signs of actual disorder for the first time. But victory wasn't certain yet. The enemy still outnumbered them, and the human fleet couldn't maintain the nightmare protocol indefinitely. "Admiral," she called, "I have an idea. It's completely insane." "Those are usually your best ones, Captain," Zhang responded. "We've been fighting them with our fears, our chaos. But there's something else that makes us human. Our ability to hope, to dream of better futures even in our darkest moments." Understanding dawned across the neural network. The fleet's quantum fields began to shift again, this time filled not with nightmares, but with humanity's highest aspirations, their greatest dreams, their most powerful hopes for the future. The void harmonics weren't prepared for this final transformation. Their perfect mathematical harmony encountered something they couldn't compute, the infinite possibilities of human hope. The battle for Sol had entered its final phase, and humanity's greatest weapons would be the very things that made them human: their fears, their hopes, and their endless capacity to imagine the impossible. Harmony and discord. In the aftermath of the battle for Sol, the void harmonics did something unprecedented. They requested communication. Captain Chen stood on the bridge of the Thunderhawk, watching as the crystalline form of the enemy's representative materialized in a carefully contained quantum field. "We are symmetry through understanding," the crystal being announced, its thoughts translating into human language through complex harmonic patterns. "We have existed for 100,000 of your years, seeking perfect order in the universe." Admiral Zhang, present via hologram, leaned forward. "Then why attack us? We had no quarrel with you." The crystalline form shifted, creating patterns that Dr. Patel's instruments interpreted as expressions of distress. "You are wrong," it stated. "Your species defies the universal constants. Your minds create patterns that should not exist. You are a threat to cosmic harmony." "Because we're unpredictable?" Chen asked, remembering how their chaotic strategies had confounded the enemy. "Because you are impossible," symmetry through understanding corrected. "Your neural patterns violate fundamental laws of quantum mechanics. Your thoughts create ripples in reality itself. And now," the crystal pulsed with new frequencies, "now you have weaponized this impossibility." Dr. Patel stepped forward, her augmented eyes analyzing the crystalline being. "It's not just about our unpredictability," she realized. "They're afraid because we can affect quantum reality through pure thought. Our neural networks, our quantum interfaces, we're doing something they thought couldn't be done." The revelation spread through the assembled humans. Their greatest weakness, their chaotic, unpredictable nature, was actually their greatest strength. They could imagine possibilities that the mathematically perfect void harmonics couldn't conceive of. "Your attack on our fleet," symmetry through understanding continued. "It contained elements that our oldest records speak of as theoretical. You turned consciousness itself into a weapon. This should not be possible." "But it is possible," Chen replied. "Because we don't accept limitations. We see boundaries as challenges, not barriers." The crystalline being's form rippled. "This is why you must be eliminated. Your species introduces chaos into the cosmic order. Your very existence threatens the stability of space-time." Admiral Zhang laughed, the sound causing the crystal entity to vibrate in surprise. "You've got it backwards," he said. "Chaos isn't a threat to the universe. It's essential to it. Evolution itself is built on chaos and adaptation. Dr. Patel's eyes widened as she processed new data. Admiral, the readings I'm getting. Their crystalline structure isn't just technology. It's their attempt to impose perfect order on quantum reality itself. They're afraid of chaos because they've been running from it for eons. Chen studied the crystalline being with new understanding. You're not attacking us because we're a threat to the universe. You're attacking us because we represent everything you've tried to eliminate from yourselves. Creativity, unpredictability, the ability to embrace chaos and make something new from it. Symmetry through understanding's form became more angular, defensive. Order is perfection. Chaos leads to entropy, to destruction. Chaos leads to creation, Chen countered. Look at what we did in the battle. We didn't just fight you. We created new forms of reality through sheer human imagination. Our chaos isn't destruction. It's the power to see possibilities you can't calculate. The neural network hummed with collective human consciousness, and for a moment, the quantum field around the crystalline being flickered with images from human history, cave paintings and spacecraft, symphonies and quantum computers, all born from the beautiful chaos of human creativity. You fear us because you don't understand us, Zhang said softly. But maybe that's exactly why we need to talk. Perhaps there's a harmony to be found between order and chaos. The crystalline being's form shifted, creating patterns that had never been seen before, not perfectly geometric, not completely chaotic, but something in between. This possibility was not in our calculations. That's kind of our whole point, Chen smiled. The best possibilities never are. As the humans and the crystalline entity continued their discussion, a new understanding began to emerge. The void harmonics had spent millennia seeking perfect order, while humans had embraced the creative potential of chaos. Neither approach was complete without the other. The path forward wouldn't be easy. Centuries of crystalline certainty couldn't be balanced with human chaos overnight. But for the first time, both species began to see the possibility of something new, a harmony that encompassed both order and chaos, mathematics and imagination, certainty and dreams. The battle for humanity's survival had become something far more profound, a chance to bridge the gap between two fundamentally different ways of existing in the universe. The Symphony of Victory. 1 year after the Battle of Seoul, the Earth's orbital space had transformed. Crystalline structures now orbited alongside human stations, their geometric patterns interweaving with human architecture in ways that defied both conventional physics and traditional aesthetics. It was a physical manifestation of the most unlikely partnership in known space. Captain Chen stood in the newly constructed Harmony Chamber aboard the Thunderhawk, watching as human thoughts and crystalline frequencies combined to create something entirely new. Dr. Patel monitored the interface systems, her augmented eyes tracking the unprecedented merger of chaos and order. It's beautiful, isn't it? Chen remarked, watching the quantum field patterns dance. A year ago, we were trying to destroy each other. Now we're creating new forms of reality together. The integration of human neural chaos with void harmonic crystalline technology had yielded breakthroughs that neither species could have achieved alone. Human imagination guided by crystalline precision. Perfect mathematical harmony disrupted by creative inspiration. The results were reshaping their understanding of the universe itself. Captain, Martine is called from the bridge. The Ascension Protocol is ready to begin. This was the moment everything had led to. After months of preparation, humans and void harmonics would attempt something unprecedented. A controlled manipulation of quantum reality using both species' unique abilities. Admiral Zhang's hologram appeared in the chamber. All ships report ready, Captain. The harmonics are in position. Around Earth, a network of crystalline ships had arranged themselves in complex geometric patterns, their forms resonating with quantum energy. Between them, human vessels hung in carefully calculated positions, their neural networks humming with the combined consciousness of their crews. Begin Phase 1, Chen ordered. The human crews let their minds flow through the neural networks, their thoughts carrying the chaos of dreams, hopes, and possibilities. The crystalline ships responded, their perfect mathematical structures channeling and focusing this chaos rather than trying to eliminate it. Neural patterns stable, Dr. Puddle reported. The harmonics are successfully containing our quantum fluctuations without suppressing them. This was the breakthrough that had changed everything. The discovery that order and chaos could work together, each strengthening the other. The void harmonics had learned to appreciate the creative power of human unpredictability, while humans had learned to channel their chaos through crystalline precision. Phase 2, John commanded. The combined fleet began to pulse with new energy as human consciousness merged with crystalline technology. In the space between ships, reality itself began to shift. New forms of matter and energy appeared, structures that were neither purely geometric nor completely chaotic, but a harmonious blend of both. "We're detecting quantum pathway formation," Martins announced. "The new space-time architecture is stabilizing." They were doing what neither species could do alone, creating stable pathways through quantum space, routes that would allow for instantaneous travel across vast distances. But these weren't just tunnels through space. They were corridors through possibility itself, maintained by the combined power of human imagination and crystalline precision. Final phase, Chen ordered. All ships, initiate Symphony Protocol. This was the riskiest part, an attempt to permanently alter the quantum structure of local spacetime, creating a stable region where order and chaos could coexist in perfect balance. If it worked, it would be the first step toward a new understanding of reality itself. The neural networks blazed with human consciousness as crews poured their hopes, dreams, and determination into the quantum fields. The crystalline ships responded, their perfect geometries accepting and amplifying these chaotic energies rather than trying to contain them. For a moment, space itself seemed to hold its breath. Then, like a symphony reaching its crescendo, everything came together. The quantum pathway stabilized, the new matter forms solidified, and reality settled into a new configuration that shouldn't have been possible, but was. All readings stable, Dr. Puddle reported, her voice filled with wonder. "We've done it. We've actually done it." Chen looked out at the transformed space around Earth. Where there had once been empty void, there now existed a complex network of crystalline structures infused with human chaos, creating something entirely new. It was beautiful, impossible, and perfectly representative of what both species could achieve together. "This is just the beginning," Zhang said softly. "Think of what else we might accomplish now that we've learned to combine our strengths instead of fearing our differences." The void harmonic signal came through, translated into human language. "We have existed for 100,000 years, seeking perfect order. Only now do we understand that true perfection comes not from eliminating chaos, but from finding harmony with it. Humanity has taught us this." Chen smiled, watching as human ships and crystalline vessels moved together through the transformed space. "And you've taught us that our chaos is most powerful when it's given structure and purpose. We're stronger together than we ever were apart." The Symphony of Victory wasn't just about winning a war or advancing technology. It was about two fundamentally different forms of existence learning to appreciate and strengthen each other. Humanity had proven that chaos and creativity weren't flaws to be corrected, but essential components of a greater whole. As the combined fleet continued their work, the stars themselves seemed to shine brighter, as if acknowledging that something profound had changed in the universe. The future was no longer a choice between order and chaos. It was a harmony of both, a symphony of infinite possibilities. The end was just the beginning.